Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Let's start our video in which our OP's roommate did not appreciate his kindness and paid the price for his rudeness. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Don't touch your laundry again? Okay. This is a story about me and my old roommate. One day I went to do laundry and found a load of his clothes in the dryer. After I did my wash, they were still there, so I folded them and left them on his bed. The next day he comes home, finds his clothes on the bed, and proceeds to scream at me at the top of his lungs that now they were all wrinkled and he was going to have to rewash the whole load. Tells me to never touch his laundry again. Okay, fine. Next week I go to do laundry, his clothes are in the washer. I roll my eyes but leave them alone. It's not urgent that I wash. Now, we also shared the machine with the downstairs half of the house, duplex with shared washer-dryer. I come back the next day with my laundry and roommate's wet clothes are in a pile in the corner on the concrete floor. Obviously, downstairs neighbors dumped them so they could do a load. I do laundry, ignoring his wet laundry. Roommate doesn't come home for 3 weeks. I don't know who goes away for 3 weeks and leaves clothes in the washer, but roommate did this frequently, disappearing for long periods of time. This made him an excellent roommate, despite his temper explosions. By the time he comes home, his clothes are a mildewed mess. He has to throw away most of them. He never says a word to me about it. And our second story. I'm in a wheelchair. That means reality bends to my commands. A woman comes into our store in an electric wheelchair. She promptly makes a nuisance of herself. Her behavior and attitude indicate that she's completely used to getting her way all the time. She complains at my lead because our parking lot was busy and a coworker parked the store truck in the last parking space in the furthest parking spot and would not pull the truck back out so her car could be parked in that spot. It's not a handicapped spot and is actually specially designated for our truck. There's even a sign on the spot saying that we'll have your car towed if you're parked there. Our lead explains this. Getting nowhere on that front, the woman huffed and puffed, then drove her electric wheelchair over to the side where I was. There were already 2 people at the register, neither of whom were busy. I was busy rearranging a set of shelving behind the counter. My expensive brand purses are back here and command the top shelf where they're on display, but not for any random person to just snatch and dash. This is still behind the counter, but around the corner from the registers. So, of course, wheelchair woman calls to me that she wants something. I politely tell her that the other register folks can help her. I'm carting 5 purses on one arm and up a stepladder, trying to affix pegs to the board above the shelves so I can hang the purses in a way that will make them visible. She ignores that and says louder that she wants me to show her something. I carefully climb down and set my arm load aside. Me in a saccharine tone. Yes, ma'am? Wheelchair woman. I want to see that purse. Me. The Kate Spade purse? Wheelchair woman. Yes. How much is it? Me. XX dollars, ma'am. Wheelchair woman, scoffing and scornful. Oh, that's too much. Me, sounding casual. And the cheapest I could find it in a retail search was XX dollars. I took 80% off. Somebody'll want it. Wheelchair woman's eyes bug out. Okay, well, I'd like to think about it. Hand it here, please. Me, sweetly, trying not to laugh at how fast her mind has changed. Of course, whenever you're ready to pay, come back to the registers and let us know that we have it on hold for you. Wheelchair woman, oh no, just hand it to me. I'm going to the registers now. I just want to hold it while I go over there. Me, still sweetly, I'll meet you there with the Kate Spade then, ma'am. Wheelchair woman, I'm only going over there. Me, deliberately ignoring what she wants. Yep, see you there. And I walk over to the registers with the purse in my hand. I'm not going to let her take an expensive purse around the store for a joyride. She didn't like that, but followed me anyway. Since I wasn't assigned to the registers, I give electronics dude the purse and let him ring it up. It took her half an hour to get through the transaction with one bag because she wanted things done a certain way, her way, and when it had to be done our way, she had to argue vehemently that she wanted it done her way and argued some more when told she couldn't. No, she wanted to slide her card. No, she didn't want to push confirm. She already swiped her card, therefore she paid. So give her the bag already. I said I already paid. Don't tell me I didn't. Why do I have to push confirm before paying? This is stupid and a waste of time, and you'd better not have charged me twice." Then she argued even more when she flat out told electronics dude that her card didn't have a chip. It did, and she had to swipe it. If your card has a chip, you have to put it in the chip reader. The register will not take your card through the slide method. It's a persnickety little monster, and we have no idea why it demands things the way it does. We just learn to accept its ways. So that took even more arguing, even when electronics dude pointed directly at the visible chip on her card. "No, that's not a chip. I don't have a chip, and I have to slide it. Don't tell me otherwise." So after half an hour of complaining and repeatedly swiping and being repeatedly told by the reader to chip it, she gets frustrated and shoves the card into electronics dude's hands, telling him that, "You need to make this work." The card finally gets inserted into the chip reader beeps a confirmation, and the register spits out the receipt. She stares at her card like it's a facehugger alien, snatches it back, and drives her wheelchair to the door, screeching about how she had never seen a chip on her card and how she had told her bank that she didn't want a card with a chip, and she's going to complain at them and force them to give her a card without a chip because the government's spying on her through her card and her microwave, and how dare the bank violate her privacy by forcing a card on her that had a chip, and rah, rah, rah. Done? No. Poor lead. Poor lead. Lead just happens to walk into Wheelchair Woman's line of sight. Wheelchair Woman promptly informs Lead that she needs to stand by Wheelchair Woman's wheelchair and watch for the bus with her. Not only is the bus stop across the street from where we are, but there's no way that this woman can sit in our store, then get out the door and cross 4 busy lanes of traffic in time to catch an arriving bus. Lead politely informs her that she cannot do that. This woman demands that Lead help her because she's disabled and needs a little consideration, and it's Lead's job to ensure that she gets to the bus all right, and her bus should be arriving in only 20 minutes, and surely Lead can stand there for the bus for that long. Lead nopes the heck out of that, far more politely than I would have. Electronics dude is face-palming and muttering about his doomsday device. I'm wondering if I should just nip over to the liquor store and get poor Lead a shot of something strong, because this nonsense would drive anyone to drink. When she can't get Lead to stand obediently like a good little servant, Wheelchair Woman decides to call for an assistance vehicle, specially designated to help folks in wheelchairs get around the town. She waits for a further half hour in our store for this car to arrive before leaving. Now there's something that seems to be forgotten in the details of this story: her car. The car she wanted to park in our store truck's designated spot. Wheelchair Woman never mentioned it again. She got a ride home with the service. There was no car parked in our lot at the end of the day but our own. We have no idea where this mysterious car of hers went. Did she whine at somebody until they picked it up for her? Was it actually a wheelchair service vehicle and the driver simply couldn't sit around waiting for her without a parking spot? We don't know. It's a mystery that we haven't figured out yet. And our next story. Choosing beggars after a house fire. My husband's job was being transferred to another state. We were having to downsize from a 4,000 square foot home to a 1,500 square foot home in another state. We were about to have a huge yard sale to get rid of the items, furniture, clothes, gym equipment, housewares we couldn't take with us. A friend I've known since kindergarten lost her home due to fire just before we were ready to advertise our sale. My heart was broken for her and her family. I can't imagine how devastated I'd feel if I lost everything I have. I invited her and her family to come over and get anything we had for sale that they might need. All they had to do was choose what they wanted and haul it away. I even offered them a place to hold any furniture they might want until they could find a more permanent storage solution. I really wanted to give as much as I could to help them start over. I should have known something was off when she complained about our conflicting schedules. I worked office hours, my hubby is second shift, friend worked graveyard shift, and her hubby worked second shift. We ended up taking a day off to accommodate their schedule. When they come to our house, I told her she could have anything that was marked with a Post-it note. We'd priced what was for sale that way. She'd scoffed at the price tags, remarking several times at how high the prices were. I told her she could have, for free, any item with a tag. She went around the house seemingly displeased at what I had to offer. She seemed offended that my nicer items, the ones I was taking with me, weren't things that I'd give to her. Like, no, I'm taking my flat-screen TV and antique bedroom suite with me. She even scoffed at the clothing selection we had marked for sale because they weren't her style. In the end, she only took the treadmill, elliptical, and the piano, saying they would do for now. Seriously? And our last story. A neighbor paid me $1,200 for damaging my car. A month ago, I parked in a spot on a public road, the street I live on, that someone had tried to save for themselves using a folding chair. I usually won't do that, but it was the only spot left. Anyway, the next Monday, I went to take my car to work and someone had spray painted the B word across the whole side of my car. I went to the cops and it wasn't too hard to figure out what dumb butt did it. A few neighbors knew who always put the chair out to save the spot and figured it was them. A neighbor's doorbell camera feed proved it. I got a $1,200 settlement for the damages and decided not to use it to fix my car because my car's a $2,500 junker that I'm planning on replacing within a year anyway. I instead got my boyfriend, whose office has a vinyl sticker printer, to print me a big red sticker saying "bad" and another that's censoring exclamation point, and I put it on my car so it reads "bad B word now." My friends and coworkers think it's funny. I work in a trade where much cruder stuff gets tossed around every day, so it's no big deal driving it to work. If anything, I've gotten more respect for driving my bad B-mobile around. But I've heard from other neighbors that it's pissing off my neighbor that did it because it's reminding him I took his money and didn't do crap to fix my car. Annoying a dad who lives on the street because he doesn't want kids seeing it. Annoying a couple other people who think it makes our area look trashy. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.